I mean, 2019 for me basically just it ended the way it began. Everybody living like a false reality. Real talk, it's crazy. I just gotta speak my mind, you know? Or certain things that don't make sense. So 2019 started, and I think I was unemployed, struggling, but somewhat content because I understood that I was done. I was finished with that process and that chapter, and I had to begin another chapter, and I had no clue what it was. I just knew, I just kind of knew that I had to go forward, and I shouldn't have regretted leaving my own company. And so I was unemployed, and then I got a job at the Department of Human Settlements, which at first I enjoyed, coming out from what I was doing with Merci Creations and Merci, the videography, the photography, etc., and going into a professional field where I'm allowed to take videos and pictures and so forth. I was excited, and I did that with everything that I could. And actually, speaking of that, somebody told me something that stuck with me. They said, you know, do everything with all you have. Even the smallest little thing, do it with all you have, so that you are well prepared to give all you have with the big things. And I think that's what I was trying to do. I was giving all I have with the small little things because I knew I had something bigger that I had to be prepared for. So I practiced. I practiced work ethic. I practiced discipline. I practiced interacting, being observant. I practiced my craft, the video, the photography. And I did that to such a point, and it's crazy because, the truth and what I learned in 2019 is that you aren't gonna have somebody there to pat your back all the time. You aren't gonna have people there to give you credit all the time. You aren't gonna have people there to tell you, wow, good job, your work ethic, this and that and that and that and that. And sometimes that solitude just needs to come from within. And that's what I had to learn. And some lessons you learn at one go. But other lessons you learn, and they're harder to learn. And the magnitude of the lesson is so demoralizing that you forget it's a lesson, and sometimes you even break down.
Period in which we lose a lot of our loved ones.
Hello.
Yeah.
How you doing?
You good?
Where you?
You're at home.
What's your table?
You wanna say hi
Merci,
Alright today. You good?
yeah, it's just all with this shit.
It's just tiring, huh? When are you coming back? On the 35th or 30th?
I think I'm gonna come back on the 30th.
Alright today.
Okay, sure.
Shut up.
Thought of doing something else. I got a call from the EFF, and yeah, that's where 2019 took a whole different spin, and I think things changed from that point. The hardest part of this year, definitely, as while I was working for the EFF, and we were given opportunities, and with opportunity comes responsibility, comes with hard work, comes with, an accountability to deliver. For the first time this year, I worked with MP members of parliament. For the first time this year, I worked with someone as esteemed as Julius Malema, For the first time this year, I went to the Pan-African Parliament, which is obviously a joint parliament of all the African leaders that were being inaugurated into, Pan-African Parliament, and I was there. For the first time this year, I shot a documentary for a big institution. I directed and edited and compiled the EFF Legacy documentary with my colleagues, Nompumelelo, who was the executive producer, assistant director, along with Paxley Mahatu, who was the director of photography. And together we shot this video and this band through a month. So at first we were excited, we were pumped, and we were like looking forward to the opportunity, and we went in head on. First week we had different projects that we were shooting already in Gauteng, and while we were doing that, Nompumelelo was putting together like all the different people we were going to interview in other provinces. I mean, we traveled all 9 provinces for this documentary, shooting and collecting footage and compiling this documentary. And at first it felt like the best thing to do, and it was so exciting, and we just went with it. And then just the sky just turned dark, and we then didn't understand the magnitude of how much it's gonna take to make this documentary work, and what we're gonna have to put in it to make it work and make it beautiful and be at the standard of what our CIC Julius Malema expects, or the standard that Commissar Mbuyiseni Ndlozi expects, the caliber of just the institution of the EFF. We wanted to deliver great work, and it was hard. Must have been the hardest time in that period. We almost thought that there were points where we thought that we would give up. We ran into technical issues. We ran into just issues with people not trying to be interviewed. We stayed up late nights, and we drove endless hours crossing provinces. I'm talking 10 hours to this province, waking up at 3 in the morning, going to shoot, coming back and driving another 4 hours, and driving back another 10 hours. Like, it was intense, so intense. And I also didn't understand what compiling and editing such a documentary would like. I just didn't understand how much attention it would need and creative spontaneous like thinking would need, and I struggled and I was tired, I was drained emotionally, mentally, physically. We were just exhausted and it was tough.
Ish, my boy. I don't wish.
You're from Nestle Chief. Oh, this guy.
I don't wish shorts, chief.
This guy's Nestle Chief, so it's not.
Do you have your card? This one is mine.
Yeah, I've.
So we're doing the first part. And honestly, we're having a good time. Basically, what's happening is that like Lelo said, we're shooting a documentary for work hard, play hard. In between, I'm gonna be showing you a little of what we're doing. Kimberly, let's take one. Let's get it.
It's funny how you could work on something for that much time, continuously working on something. You work on something, you build a craft for something, you build it, you put it together, and all it takes is just it being played for 30 seconds and it's done, finished. And whether it made an impact or not, you couldn't see it at that point. I probably couldn't see it right now, and I will only see if it makes an impact maybe after a year or so, like there is no telling. But I think at that point, what was more heavy for me as something that I put my soul in for months, sleepless nights, just being drained and being tired and working so hard. Right after that 30 minute, right after it's played for 30 minutes, it was done. And that's it.
On us, make sure that we have eaten and gotten everything, which is a surprise because there are a lot of sponsors that do not care about the students, and the thing that we can appreciate the most is the emotional support, because it was a big change coming into Joburg, growing up in Sisho and coming to Joburg. So we appreciate more than anything the support both financially and emotionally.
Being a pilot can help you go into new adventures. You can be so many things when you become a pilot. You can be someone who...
Yeah, that's where I edited too.
It's still good.
Hey?
It's good.
Is it proper?
Yeah. With the right track, the track is still on the right track.
Yeah, but like cutting, again, we have to make it shorter than 2 minutes.
Yeah?
It has to be shorter than 2 minutes.
Sort of thing makes you, be able to pursue other things other than.
Quiz Cube, play that beat again.
Wants to do it one day. So I think it's changed my life in terms of that. I was saying to myself the other day that it would be nice for me one day to also be paying or sponsor.
But it was a big reward seeing the end product, and that lesson came back to me, because it's like nobody's gonna give you a pat on the back. Nobody's gonna give you credit and shower you with credits, and no one is gonna make you feel like, this was beautiful, this will make a difference or whatever. That really has to come from yourself. and your strength and your character, and you know how you believe that this was meant to change at least either 1, 2, 3 lives. And that's the lesson I had to learn, you know.
Hold up, you ain't got love for me, my nigga? Ever meet another nigga like me, my nigga? Are you sure? A nigga flip this shit like y'all
Don't ever play yourself.
A nigga did this shit this hardcore. If you say it, guess it's true though. Kudos, I mean, but who knows? Salute to all the real niggas out there finding the loopholes. Fuck all these fuck niggas, hate when niggas come up.
In between the career stuff, there was obviously, you know, the stuff that happens in between. My sister's pregnant. We're expecting our first niece or nephew very soon. You know, you fall in love, you fall out of love, back in love, you know. Another thing I went through in 2019 is that I lost if there was anything I wish I could take back or kind of have a hand in controlling, I think it would have been that situation, because I never thought in my life that I would lose someone so close, someone that I'd considered to be there forever, and you know, he'd be around to see my kids and my wife one day, and all these things that we had all these things that we had planned to kind of do, you know. And a lot of the times I actually blame myself, and I obviously had a hand in why he was distant. I obviously had a hand in why we aren't friends anymore. I couldn't tell you exactly what. I wish that we could have sat down and spoke and reconciled the situation, and you know, just like we said that we would, you know. 2019, I learned a lot about myself. I learned that I have a work ethic that I didn't even know that was there, and I work hard and I push myself beyond certain boundaries. I push myself beyond certain limits. I also know that I'm not perfect, and I work to living in the present and never in the past or in the future. In 2019, I learned that love is difficult. The unconditional type of love is difficult. The love with an intention, the love that's present and not always theatrical, was very difficult. I learned that I seek desire and pleasure just like everyone else, and I learned that not everyone will always be consistent. What he do, what he does, what he did all day. It's your boy Don Merc'i. Don't you ever forget.